All right, television, massive part of our lives, from binge watching your favorite show to tuning in right here to CBS 2 News at 9 a.m. But we might not realize how so many of the iconic TV dramas and comedies over the decades have influenced our closets. Style expert Hal Rubenstein takes a look back at the distinctive fashion on the small screen in his new book, Dressing the Part, Television's Most Stylish Shows, and he joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi. Thank you for having me.
What made you want to write this book?
You know, I've been covering style for 40 years. And yes, we love the red carpet and we look at fashion shows, but that's not where the impact is. That's not where we get our influence. It's television. It's everybody's at-home, in-home stylist.
Yeah, that's so true. We had so much fun going through your book. All the different shows. The pictures are amazing.
Yeah.
How did you figure out which shows to feature in your book?
I didn't want to do it chronologically because I don't think that really told the story. I thought it was more important to sort of go by genres and to understand how the evolution of how we dressed for shows that have to do with family, or how we dressed when it came to friendship or to love, or the impact of spy. I wear turtlenecks because of your rocking on the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Even reality television, all of them had a different way in terms of how we see beauty and style.
Right. Let's talk about some of the shows and how they affected fashion. Let's start with one of my favorites, which is Dynasty.
How would we know how to dress in the 80s if it wasn't for Dynasty? That was the playbook. I mean, you look at Joan Collins, Linda Evans, what Nolan Miller did. He had a budget of what's equivalent to $115,000 a week.
Wow.
Yeah. To those big hats, big hair, big shoulders, lots of beads. I mean, that's if you wanted to look like you were rich in the 80s, you followed Dynasty.
That's what you did. How about Sex and the City? I know one of your favorites.
Sex and the City is truly one of the most influential shows in the history of television, because not only it did several things. Number one, it redefined how we looked at women in their 30s and 40s. Suddenly they were beautiful, they were desirable. It also how we look at female friendship and their conversations. It was also the most incredible love letter to New York. I mean, it wasn't just Manolo pumps, you know, and Fendi baguettes. It was also come to this city that used to be thought of as scary, and now suddenly is this twinkly candy-colored, you know, Disney World for adults, full of Magnolia Bakery cupcakes and Cosmopolitans.
So true, and a big difference. Mad Men.
Mad Men. It's so fascinating how they took and focused on an ad agency, and by doing so showed that how you dress is basically how you create your own brand. When you look at Don Draper's sharkskin suits, or Roger Sterling's like double-breasted jackets, or you know Betty's perfect housewife dresses, or the way Joan dressed curvaceously to get what she wanted in office. Mad Men basically showed you that your wardrobe is you.
All right, how about reality television changing the face of fashion, starting with RuPaul's Drag Race?
Which is probably the most influential style show on television right now. Especially when you look at what it did to menswear, it blurred all the lines. When you look at Ryan Gosling in a pale green jacket, you know, promoting Barbie. Dwayne Johnson showing up at last year's Oscars in a pink satin tuxedo. Timothy Chalamet on a red carpet 3 times in backless jumpsuits. That's RuPaul's Drag Race.
All right, and then looking way back, Soul Train.
Soul Train, the most important, the longest running syndicated show in history, and the first show to ever focus attention on people of color. Advertisements strictly directed toward black people. So it wasn't about just being young, gifted, and black, also being stylish. And 2, if you were like me and lots of people in the 70s and 80s who went out dancing 5 nights a week, that show, you moved the furniture away at 11 o'clock on Saturday because you had it was time to practice.
All right, keeping up with the Kardashians.
Love them or hate them, you can't deny them. When you think about Kylie's $1 billion cosmetic company, and Kim, who went kind of from a joke to being a style icon with a company called Skims that's now worth $4 billion.
Wow.
How do you pretend they don't matter? Of course they matter.
Oh my goodness. All right, you include so many behind-the-scenes tidbits. What was the most surprising thing that you learned?
I think it's how important costume design. This is the first book about television and costume design. How important that the costume designer is in working with the actor and with the director to create characters. You know, as soon as that person walks on, the impact of what they're doing. Tom Selleck's mustache and you know, and Jennifer Aniston's Rachel haircut. You know, Lucille Ball redefining maternity because she wouldn't hide her pregnancy. All this came from a costume designer who said, go.
Hal, thank you so much, and congrats on this beautiful book.
Thank you so much.
All right, you can buy Dressing the Part right now wherever books are sold. We'll be right back.